Exactly a year ago I bought the Fujifilm X-T30 and released a video titled Why I Bought a Fujifilm X-T30 in 2022. Long story short, I mainly bought it because I wanted a secondary smaller camera, because I was super curious about these Fuji cameras, and most importantly because I had just gotten the first paycheck from my new job back then, and I'm a lot better at spending money than I am at putting money aside. But a lot has changed since then. I've taken this camera to multiple countries, bought more lenses for it, took thousands of photos, done several videos with it, tested all kinds of different Fuji cameras, gotten better at making videos along the way, and now it's finally time to do a full review of the Fujifilm X-T30. One of the things that really strikes me is how the popularity of these Fujifilm cameras has exploded over the past year. One reason why I bought the X-T30 was that I knew some photographers I had been following really enjoyed the Fuji X system, but I personally didn't know anybody that had a Fujifilm camera that I could try. So last year I just gave into the part of my brain that's responsible for curiosity and hasn't developed since I was 5, and shelled out 750 European doubloons in trade for a used X-T30 and XC35mm f2 lens. And when I got it, I was so blown away by how good this camera was. So much so that I thought about making a video titled Fujifilm cameras are underrated, or something along those lines. Fast forward a year, Fujifilm cameras have gotten so popular that most of them have risen significantly in price on the used market, even models that are over 10 years old. Additionally, several of my photography friends have since gotten Fujifilm cameras or asked to try mine. So I gave my friend Chris my X-T30 and followed him around Cologne for a day. By the way, big shout out to Chris because he regularly helps me film my stupid YouTube videos. Well, they're stupid because of me. He does a great job. There is a good reason why Fuji cameras have gotten so popular. They are superb. The amount of tech that was packed into the shockingly small body of the X-T30 is almost as impressive as my ability to eat a whole can of Pringles in front of the TV and only notice when I reach the bottom. A 26 megapixel backside illuminated sensor, 425 AF points, 8 FPS mechanical shutter or up to 30 FPS when using the electronic shutter. It even has 4K 30 FPS or 1080p 120 FPS video with F-Log. And if you have an external recorder, you can get 10-bit color out of this tiny camera. That's insane. And even the 8-bit footage looks really good, as you can see. But keep in mind that it doesn't have any built-in stabilization, so for handheld video I would definitely try to use a lens that has stabilization, or alternatively make sure to pray to the warp stabilizer gods the night before editing and place the SD card your footage is on under your pillow for good fortune. While the sturdy build quality is undermined a bit by the top and bottom plates, which aren't metal, just plastic painted to look like metal, the weight and size make this camera super portable. It's about 3/4 the size of a smaller banana, coming in at around 12 by 8 centimeters and weighing only 383 grams. But anybody can read a spec sheet into the camera, and it's actually shocking how many photography channels do nothing else. The real test is the photos you can get. So I took the X-T30 to Vegas, baby! I don't have a video of the plane landing I can use here, but I have a video of a plane taking off, so when I just reverse it, it's basically the same, right?
Breath away, a young and pretty, was it just a dream? The next day you called me up, you told me I'm your little buttercup. You came over and you fell into my arms.
Yeah, I sure hope it does.
Well, I know what I feel. Please tell me your love is real. You make me smile when I think of you. If I am down or when I am blue, I can't get enough. You make me happy, I feel so fine. Oh, how I wish that you were mine. I can't get enough. Hopeless lover. I woke up all soaked in sweat, with chills running down my neck. I'm going crazy from just the thought of you. A long blonde hair and your beautiful smile. Your sense of humor makes it all worthwhile. Don't make me wait, it's not a funny game. You know just what I feel. Please tell me your love is real. You make me smile when I think of you. If I am down or when I am blue, I can't get enough. You make me happy, I feel so fine. Oh, how I wish that you were mine. I can't get enough. Hopeless lover. Hopeless lover. A hopeless lover. Hopeless
The X-T30 is perfect for these types of days. I absolutely love this camera for exploring a city. Actually, I would say the X-T30 made me fall in love with street photography. It's so light, so unobtrusive, and people just don't question it. I've experienced security guards telling me off when I walk into a building with a larger camera, giving me the good old "Oh, you need a permit to take photos in here." But with the X-T30, I just look like a tourist taking some snapshots. No sir, I do not know what I'm doing. Yes, I have a YouTube channel, but that's about not photography. And I will definitely not use these photos commercially. Especially when exploring a new city, you're walking around all day and going into restaurants or whatever. When you don't need the camera, just put it into your jacket pocket or a small bag. I always use this small bike bag because it can easily fit the X-T30, 2 or 3 lenses depending on the size and extra batteries. And that's exactly what I used on this day in the city that always gambles, or something like that.
think of you. If I am down or when I am blue, and I can't get enough. Can't get enough. I can't get enough. I can't get enough. You make me smile when I think of you. If I am down or when I am blue, I can't get enough. You make me happy, I feel so fine. Oh, how I wish that you were mine. I can't get enough. Hopeless lover. Hopeless lover. Hopeless lover. And that's what I am. You make me happy, I feel so fine. Oh, how I wish this girl were mine. And I can't get enough. Hopeless lover.
Las Vegas is so cool for photos, and I am so happy with the shots I got here. I just wish I would have had one more night here to take photos on this strip at night with all the lights on, but I was so unbelievably jet lagged. I fought until like 8 AM to stay awake, but that was it, I couldn't go any further. One reason why I got the X-T30 in the first place was actually the film simulations. I was pretty fed up with shooting film, so I was looking for a digital alternative. And at first I had a ton of fun trying out different film simulation recipes and all that, and I was getting pretty good results, but now I don't really shoot JPEGs anymore. While the workflow is really nice, you don't have to do any editing or anything, and the colors you can get are amazing, I would still rather shoot RAW. On the one side, it is so much easier to save an image if you accidentally messed up your exposure, and on the other side, I actually enjoy editing. I primarily used the X-T30 to develop some custom presets for Lightroom that I used to edit all of these photos from Las Vegas. And the great thing is that you can actually select the built-in film simulations as profiles in Lightroom. That makes my editing workflow really simple actually. Step 1, I select one of my presets. I used f400K for all of these shots in Vegas because I've tuned it to work well in sunny conditions. And Vegas is in the desert, so it's always sunny. I use the variant marked for Fujifilm because that automatically uses the classic chrome profile, which gives you some of that extra Fujifilm secret sauce. Step 2, I overexpose in Lightroom until I get a nice film-like flat pastel film look. That was one film too much. Step 3, crank the white balance to make it look like this was shot in super nice golden light. Step 4, attack your unsuspecting pet with surprise cuddles. Step 5, done. This is basically my workflow for all images I take with my X-T30 because it only takes a couple of seconds to go from this to this. By the way, if you're interested in buying this preset pack, you can get it for just $5 at the link in the description and help me keep this channel running. One question I regularly get is whether people should get the first or second version, because Fujifilm released a Mark II version 2 years after the X-T30 was launched. The difference between these two is quite minimal. One has these two eyes in the name. Okay, I'm just kidding. The Mark II version has some minimal software improvements, like 2 more settings for the film simulations, and additionally you have a slightly higher resolution back screen. These things obviously don't really make a big difference. The only feature that might be important for you is if you want to record longer videos. The X-T30 has a limit of 10 minutes per clip in 4K, and the Mark II version has a limit of 30 minutes. But I wouldn't buy an X-T30 specifically for video. While the footage looks quite nice, the video autofocus and auto exposure aren't the best, and the lack of stabilization combined with the very small and light body results in quite shaky footage most of the time when going handheld. The Mark II version is considerably more expensive, around 150 to 200 bucks more on the used market, and for that kind of money you can get an even better camera if you're willing to look at other brands as well. The Sony a7R II would be a really good option for around 800 bucks, and I've made a video about that as well. The main selling point for the X-T30 in my opinion is its compact size. Also, it's the cheapest Fuji camera with an X-Trans4 sensor. That means it'll get you the same image quality as the X100V, which not only is extremely popular, it'll also cost you at least twice as much as the X-T30 for basically the same internals. You can use that extra money you're saving to buy a Lego Death Star, which apparently has also inflated in price. What is happening in the world? Okay, yeah, this comparison isn't working anymore. So, should you buy a Fujifilm X-T30? Chris used mine for just a couple of hours and he liked it so much that he ordered one right after, and I think that speaks for itself. But if you're not sure yet, here are 2 more videos where I go to shoot with the X-T30. See you in the next one, subscribe, and yeah, goodbye I guess.